Hi, INTP Ramble here. I'm back after, I think it's been over a year, so yeah, sorry about that. Um, so I'm going to make a video about INTPs and emotions. I am making a video of INTPs and their emotions. Anyway, so INTPs, we tend to struggle with being on the extremes in terms of our emotions. What I mean by that is we often appear to others as though we are either very unemotional people or very over emotional people. We have a hard time balancing that expression. And the truth is, it's always going to be a lot easier for us to feel comfortable showing a lack of feeling than it is for us to show our emotions to others, because we're naturally just less comfortable with our inferior function, which is extroverted feeling. We can also just easily understand how too much extroverted feeling can feel awkward to other people when or maybe not too much, but when it's expressed inappropriately. Like, I can't remember a time where someone was using too much introverted thinking and it made me feel awkward. I might have been irritated with them because normally when someone uses too much introverted thinking, it means they're not grounded in reality. But I didn't feel awkward about it. I can't remember ever feeling awkward about it. On the other hand, if someone, for example, if someone were to receive a surprise and in response they scream as loud as they can, that would make me feel super awkward. I hate that. I don't understand why people do that. But it comes so easily to me how extroverted feeling when it can be awkward to other people, but not the other way around. So there's just a lot less shame involved with the one extreme than the other. But because of this, we can kind of get stuck in this trap where an INTP might try to use only introverted thinking. Other functions are okay, but they might just try to be completely TI as opposed to using their extroverted feeling at all. And this doesn't work. But it might seem like the safest route. Now, for example, there's that stereotype where an INTP is living in his mother's basement and he never showers and spends all day on the computer being an internet troll and a conspiracy theorist. That's the extreme version of this extreme, where just so many years of trying to be completely TI and just embracing what they might call a solely rational identity, and they scoff at emotions and their expression. But those people are not being rational. They're just kind of scared of extroverted feeling because they have all these memories of where they were very awkward about it and they feel like it's irredeemable. They'll never be in public and not seem like an awkward freak. It's very easy to fall into that trap. This is part 2 of the same video, but anyway, I just moved my computer. So introverted functions need extroverted functions in order to work. Extroverted functions, even the ones that might seem silly like extroverted feeling, are necessary for grounding a person in the real world. So how this works is that introverted functions can activate introverted functions subconsciously, and extroverted functions can activate extroverted functions subconsciously. So to remove extroverted feeling from your life, you would also be removing a lot of extroverted intuition from your life. Now, how can a person understand the world without a way to interact with it and take in new information? the truth is that it can't be done. So that's why the extreme I just mentioned, that's why they become conspiracy theorists, because their ideas are no longer grounded in the capabilities of reality. And though they might not know it, and what they're saying might be perfectly rational, without acknowledgement of just actual facts. Like, they're not being stupid, they're just ignorant of how things truly are. And it's very sad, because the farther into that rabbit hole you go, the harder it is to get out. Also, no matter how oblivious a person is to how ridiculous what they're saying is, you won't be happy if you're not using all of your functions. Your brain just won't be stable if you're not using all of them. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. People get caught in this trap because they're too afraid to use their extroverted feeling to face it. INTPs end up with all these strong SI emotions. I think I fumbled that. INTPs can end up with all these strong SI emotions of when extroverted feeling burst out and embarrassed us. And these memories can activate those feelings of embarrassment that we felt like very easily. So we can relive those experiences if we think about it. And those are all, they can all seem like very good reasons to never interact with another person again. But INTP feelings can kind of be sticky to us. Like, we have very little control of them sometimes, and if we decide to pay attention to our extrovert feeling and interact with it a little bit, we can get stuck to it, and we can't just stop experiencing an emotion whenever we want to. We might be just stuck going through that, and we don't have necessarily control of the intensity of that emotion, especially if you haven't been interacting with your, or paying attention to your emotions. Then they can kind of build up. You can have a lot of emotions stuck to you all at once, and you can't get away from any of them. And this can become very overwhelming. And that's when you'll have another outburst and embarrass yourself. And that's just another reason not to interact with people again. But the truth is that the reason why these things happen is because we haven't been using extroverted feeling. It doesn't work to reject it completely and just never touch on your emotions, because you don't decide if you feel something. No one decides if they feel something. We will respond to a stimulus no matter what. But it's up to us when we feel something and when we're going to pay attention to those emotions. So the emotions will build up because of this and burst out awkwardly, extremely awkwardly, if you don't practice using extroverted feeling, if that makes any sense. And so, yeah, basically my point is that avoidance of the problem will make you stupid, and also it'll reinforce the problem itself. And you don't want that. So I'm gonna go on to solutions, I guess. In part 3, same video. Part 3. So the solution to this problem is that you need to practice using extroverted feeling. Hang out with friends whenever possible. And if you don't have friends, then I'm sorry, but then just focus on leaving your cave and existing in a public place where you can have these little interactions with people. Use extroverted feeling every chance you get. Say thank you and have a nice day to employees you interact with. Maybe try to mimic other people who seem very socially aware. Where should I go now? But saying thank you and have a nice day to employees will seem initially very weird to do. TI will say that it's dumb and that you're wasting your time and theirs, but you will feel better by having released some built up extroverted feeling. By having like used it, you're practicing it, and you're gonna feel better. And you're gonna end up having more control over it with time, just by doing these little things. But anyway, yeah, it's that simple. You just need to practice using extroverted feeling. Others, well, when it comes to moments where you've embarrassed yourself in the past, others will possibly remember your outburst, and the best thing you can do is just move on and improve. Maybe someday they will see that you are a lot better than you used to be, but it doesn't do anyone any good to get stuck and just give up. Extrovert feeling it sucks, but you can't get caught up in despair. Like, I often think about all the times I've embarrassed myself, and it seems like there's no way around it. I've considered just dropping out of school so I can get away from witnesses from when I've just been too stressed to maintain, I guess. I mean, I haven't been stuck like this, but it's very similar to, like, you can still have FE outbursts even if you're practiced and using things. If you get stressed out, and school is very stressful for me. If you get stressed out and you're stuck in that loop, the stress loop, which maybe you know about, maybe you don't, and you have an FE outburst, it's the same thing. They happen less, though, if you've practiced using FE. But anyway, I get a little distracted. You don't really remember all the people that you witnessed embarrass themselves when you were a kid. And the same thing goes true for other people. Like, maybe you do, but you don't care. And other people don't really care. And if they do, then ignore them. Why should they care? Is what I'm saying. What does that say about them? But anyway, you shouldn't allow yourself to not feel free to try to get better. Don't get caught up in despair. Again, like, you have to try. That's the most important thing, is that you try to use extroverted feeling. You actually try to use it. And eventually, you won't have to try. It'll just be there for you to use. And you'll probably feel a lot better about it. Definitely feel a lot better about it. But yeah. And I guess there's a part 4 to this, but it's kind of off topic. Yeah. Part 4. While you're trying to get better at using extroverted feeling, you might go into relationships. And I think it's a good idea to date people. As an INTP who's not necessarily all that good with people, but at the same time, don't fall in love, I guess. I mean, that sounds stupid, but, like, really, if you're in a bad place and you don't know if you won't know if you really like the person, or if they just make you feel comfortable about certain things about you. And you need to relax. There's nothing wrong with being relaxed in a relationship. I see a lot of people, and I've probably been like this at one point, where you just want to rush into things and be in love. But truth is, you'll feel better if you just take your time. Just, if you're in a relationship, do it because that person makes you happy, I guess. Like, you're having a good time with them, and just continue having a good time with them. But don't just marry someone because they make you feel comfortable. You need to work on yourself first. If you are not who you want to be, or, like, if you're not stable and you build a relationship on that. It's not necessarily going to be a good one. And it might even make it harder for you to get better. So, like, if the one you are with really is the one, then they'll still be there after you've become stable. So you have no reason to rush into like a marriage or anything like that. I mean, I'm talking very extreme circumstances here, but like, just relax. INTPs who haven't been practicing extroverted feeling are detached from reality and will sometimes latch on to people very quickly. You just need to relax. It's very important to relax and take your time and just enjoy things. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm sorry that my videos, I haven't been making them much lately. Been kind of busy with school and not getting enough sleep. Which is my fault. I just don't have good sleeping habits. But anyway, maybe I'll be making more videos than I have been. But here's this one. Hope you like it.